Dear student, let us discuss this Stella and Morris question. It is from the past paper, I think September 15 and December 15. We'll be solving this question, Stella and Morris, according to the Finance Act 2021. That's great. The new Finance Act. Wow. Let's attempt this question. It gives you 10 marks, okay? Let me explain this. Just a minute. Let us read the requirement first. Calculate Stella's income after tax and pension contribution for the tax year 22-23 if she does contribute 90,000 gross into her personal pension scheme. We need to calculate Stella's income, but after income tax as well as after she has contributed in PPC. Let's read the question. Your firm assume today's date is 3rd June 2022. Your firm has been asked to provide advice to two unrelated clients, Stella and Morris. Stella requires advice on tax implication of making increased contribution to her personal pension scheme. So right now we are solving question for Stella, not for Morris. Later on we'll see the Morris as well. Stella is resident and domicile in the UK. Whoever is resident and domicile in the UK, that individual will have to pay tax on his or her worldwide income. Receives a gross salary of 2,03,000 pounds. Wow. In the tax year 22-23, this was substantially increased on the previous year. Does not have an occupational pension. She does not have any occupational pension plan. Has property income from a portfolio of unfurnished property totaling 92,000 in the tax year 22-23. By looking at these figures, salary 203,000, property income 92,000, I believe in UK only one person is earning and her name is Stella. Has no other source of taxable income, obviously after having these two incomes. She does not need any other source of income. Okay, let's move ahead. Wishes to make an increased contribution to her personal pension scheme in the tax year 22-23. Okay. Personal pension scheme contribution. Stella has contributed 40,000 gross to her personal pension scheme in each of the tax years 21, 22 and 2021 and 30,000 gross in each of the tax year 19, 20 and 18, 19. Okay. Examiner is telling us that in the tax year 21, 22 and 2021 she has contributed 40,000. In 19, 20 and 18, 19 she has contributed 30. Okay. The full annual allowance without restriction was available for the tax year 18-19 till this. Previously, Stella was having full annual allowance without restriction means previously she was having entire 40,000 annual allowance limit. Previously that limit was not reduced. Without restriction means previously she never faced reduction in annual allowance limit which is 40,000 for pension. So without restriction means previously 40,000 was available as 40. Stella wishes to increase contribution. Now she in the current tax year which is 22-23 in this question she wants to go for gross PPC 90,000. So let us first simply calculate income tax liability and then slowly and gradually we'll see what we need to do. Let's go for income tax liability. We just need to calculate income tax liability. Employment income they have given us 2,03,000. Employment income. Property income is 92,000. So here comes Total income. I do not have any other income. So 203 plus 92 gives me 2,95,000. We need to deduct personal allowance, but I have to check how much personal allowance Stella is going to get. After deducting personal allowance, we will have taxable income. So now let us check personal allowance, how much personal allowance Stella can get. I'm doing working here, working one. Total income is 2,95,000, which is obviously the net income 295. Actually, we need to calculate adjusted net income, because if adjusted net income is more than 1 lakh, then personal allowance starts reducing. Okay. From this net income, we need to deduct gross PPC. Let's deduct gross PPC of the current year, which is 90,000. So I'm getting 205. Adjusted net income is 205. Now listen and listen carefully. Any individual who is having adjusted net income more than equal to 1,25,140 gets personal allowance 0. So we'll tell our examiner ANI is more than 1,25,140. Therefore, personal allowance is 0. Repeat. In Finance Act 2021, any individual who is having adjusted net income more than 1,25,140 or even equal to 125,140 gets personal allowance 0. Why? Let me explain that also. Actually, the personal allowance is 12570. Let's say if someone is having adjusted net income of 1,25,140, let's see what happens. I'm just explaining you, otherwise I don't need this for the question. 125,140 minus 1 lakh. You have to take 50% of this. So obviously, personal allowance is going to be 0. So entire income is taxable income. Okay. Now we need to check that basic rate band and high rate band will increase by what amount? So let us check working 2. Band, basic and high rate band, they will increase by lower of number 1 is gross PPC in the current year, which is 90,000. Second is higher of 3,600 and total of the relevant earnings. In relevant earnings, we consider 3 earnings. One is employment income, second is trading income, and the third is income from furnished holiday letting. Repeat. In relevant earnings, we consider 3 earnings: higher of, total of relevant earnings, relevant earnings. Number 1 is trading profit. Second, income from furnished holiday letting. Third, we have employment income. So total of relevant earning means trading profit, income from furnished holiday letting, and the last one is obviously employment income. Okay. In this question, we have just employment income, 203. We do not have any other income. So higher of 3600 and 203 is obviously 203. But look at this, lower of gross PPC and 203, so it's obviously 90,000, which means that basic rate band and high rate band will increase by 90,000. Working 3. Basic rate band 37,700 plus 90,000. Let me use my calculator. It is 1,27,700. Higher rate band is obviously 1,50,000 plus 90,000. 240. So basic rate band limit is now 1,27,700 and higher rate band goes till 240. So let's calculate income tax liability. Income tax liability. Working 2, I believe. Basic rate non-saving goes to 1,27,700 into 20%. So it is 25,540. Okay. Higher rate. Actually, higher rate band is 240. This is working 3, not 2. Okay. So from 2,40,000 you need to deduct 1,27,700. From 2,40,000, from 240 I need to deduct 1,27,700. So I'm getting 1,12,300 into 40%. It gives me 44920. But actually my taxable income is far more than even 240. So any amount over and above 240, it falls in additional rate band where the tax rate is 45%. So taxable income is 2,95,000. So far we have taxed 2,40,000. So from 295, if I deduct 240, I will get 55,000. Additional rate. We have taxable income of 2,95,000. From this 295, if I deduct 240, which I have taxed, so I'm getting 55. And this 55 actually falls in additional rate band. Additional rate and tax rate is 45%. If I take 45% of 55,000, it is 24,750. That's simply great. Now we need to check for annual allowance charge, because Stella is a wealthy individual, and wealthy individual normally they get normally their annual allowance limit, which is normally 40,000, it also reduces for them. Any individual who is having threshold income more than 2 lakh and adjusted income more than 240, annual allowance limit reduces for that individual. So let's go for working 4. Stella is having adjusted threshold income more than 2 lakh. How do I know? Look at this. Actually, in ATX, threshold income and net income format is same. Threshold income and adjusted net income format is same. So from the net income, if you deduct gross PPC, you will get ANI, and the same thing is threshold income also. So just to show you what I'm doing, I'm just calculating threshold income. Net income is 295. Gross PPC is 90. Okay. So you can say here the threshold income. Actually, threshold income must be more than 200,000 and adjusted income must be more than 2,40,000. When both the conditions are met, only then annual allowance limit of 40,000 reduces for the current tax year. Now let's calculate adjusted income. You have to take net income, which is 295, and simply add employees' contribution in occupational pension plan, employees' contribution in occupational pension plan, which is 0 because Stella does not have any occupational pension plan. Add employer's contribution in occupational pension plan, which we do not have in this question. It is also 0. And you have to add employer's contribution, obviously for employee in PPC. If employer is contributing for employee in occupational pension plan, I need to add that. If employer is also contributing in personal pension plan for the employee, I'm going to add that also, which is also 0 in this question because there is nothing such thing in the question. So actually your adjusted net income, your adjusted income is 295. So both the conditions are met. Threshold income is more than 200,000 and adjusted income is more than 240. So for the current tax year 22-23 in this question, annual allowance limit will not be 40,000 for the pension, it will reduce. So let's calculate working 5, what will be the annual allowance limit. Annual allowance. Since in the current tax year, threshold income is more than 2 lakh, adjusted income is more than 240, so annual allowance limit reduces. We know that one thing very well, annual allowance limit for the pension cannot be 0, it can be minimum goes to 4,000. So less reduction. $295 minus 240. I have to take 50% of this. So 295 minus 240, 50% of this, it is 27,500. So current year annual allowance limit is just 12,500. Okay. Now dear student, listen and listen carefully. What is that? If we have previously any unused limit of annual allowance, then unused limit of annual allowance can be carried forward for 3 tax year and it is used on FIFO basis. Repeat. Unused annual allowance limit can be carried forward for 3 tax years and it is used on FIFO basis or FIFO basis. So now let us check how much unused limit we have in the previous 3 tax years. If we have any unused limit in the previous 3 tax years, it will be added in this 12,500. Unused annual allowance. In previous 3 tax years. And it is used on FIFO basis. Let me explain now this. From 22-23, you need to go 3 years back. You will be at 21-22, 20-21, 19-20. From 22-23, if you go 3 years back, it's going to be 21-22, 20-21, and 19-20. Okay. And as I mentioned earlier, unused limit of annual allowance can be carried forward for 3 tax years and it is used on FIFO basis. So number 1, I'll be using unused limit of 1920. Then I'm going to use unused limit of 2021 and finally I'm going to use unused limit of 2122. Unused limit of 1819 is irrelevant. Why it is irrelevant for us? Because only 3 tax years, only unused limit of annual allowance can be carried forward for 3 tax years. The current tax year is 22-23. From 22-23, if I go 3 years back, so I'll end up reaching 1920. I cannot go till 1819. So 1819 is irrelevant. Okay. In 1920, obviously the limit is 40,000 and he has contributed 30. It is written in the question. So unused limit is 10,000. But here he has contributed 40. Stella has contributed 40. We do not have any unused limit. The same applies here. So which means that the maximum annual allowance limit which is available in the tax year 22-23 is 22,500. The maximum annual allowance limit which is available to Stella is 22,500. But she's actually contributing gross 90,000. If she contributes more than 22,500, then excess contribution is treated as annual allowance charge, and on that annual allowance charge, Stella will have to pay tax. And whatever annual allowance charge comes, it will be treated as non-saving income. So actually, she wants to go for gross PPC 90,000. So there is going to be this excess contribution is actually annual allowance charge. This annual allowance charge will be treated as non-saving income and it will be taxed by using non-saving income tax rates. This is working 5. Right now we are in additional rate, so which means working 5 annual allowance charge 67,500 into 45%. Annual allowance charge will be taxed at the end by using non-saving tax rates. If I take 45% of 67,500, you need to use the calculator. 67,500 into 45%, it gives me 30,375. So let's calculate income tax liability now. So you just need to add 25540 plus 44920 plus 24750 plus 30375. It gives us 1,25,585. Great. But this is not the final answer. They have asked us calculate Stella's income after tax and after contribution. So let's calculate that. Stella's income after tax and pension contribution. After tax and pension contribution. She is having income of 2,95,000. Her income is 2,95,000. Let us deduct income tax liability we have just calculated. Our income tax liability is 1,25,585. We need to deduct pension contribution as well. Less pension contribution. So it is 90,000 gross. We have to take 80% of this. It becomes 72. Question: why you are not deducting, sir, 90,000? Actually, 90,000 is the gross PPC. In PPC, what happens? Whatever individual contributes, it is 80% and 20% is actually paid by HMRC. So 19,000 is not the actual cash outflow of Stella. The actual outflow is only 72,000. So we are not supposed to deduct gross PPC because that gross PPC amount is not the outflow. Actual outflow of Stella is only 72,000. So that is why I took 80% of this 90,000. 2,95,000 minus 125,585 minus 72,000. So it gives us 97,415. This is income after tax and pension contribution. That's simply great. I strongly believe you people. Must have enjoyed this lecture. If you, whoever is watching this lecture on obviously YouTube, if you or maybe on Facebook, if you really want to join our classes, my classes are available in both the languages, that is Urdu, Hindi, and English as well. In ATX, I have Alhamdulillah 7. So far, I have produced 7 position holders. So it means someone is having 7 positions in ATX. So if you join us, so you will be in safe hands. Normally, in my ATX, each lecture is of around 45 minutes. I believe 45 minutes is a digestible time, which a student can easily digest the knowledge. And normally, I go for 72 classes, where each class is of 45 minutes, which means that if I multiply this with 0.75 hours, it becomes 54 hours. Okay. Then from 73, I go till 105. In this, I solve Kaplan kit question. In each lecture, you will be getting one complete question of Kaplan kit. So which means that altogether there is going to be from 73 till 105, you will be having 33, you would say, including this 73 as well. 33 lectures, practice videos, practice questions. And again, each lecture will be around 45 minutes, which means 0.75 hours. It means if I multiply this with 0.75 also, so I'm getting 24.75. So entire course is going to be 78.75 hours, or maybe it goes till 80 hours. But to be very honest, even you have just seen first 72 lectures, because in first 72 lectures I complete my entire ATX course, and after that obviously is all the practice which we do need. Most of the question I solve on Excel, and some of the question I do solve on CB platform as well, so the student should be having a really good idea of the CB platform. Then all my enrolled students, wherever they get stuck in ATX, they can always ask the question on WhatsApp, and I try my best to give a reply as soon as possible. Once you join us, so I'll be giving you my compile book. Normally I follow my compile book, and kit we strictly follow Kaplan kit. So any other question if you want to ask, you can always ask question. But do join our YouTube channel so that whenever a new video comes, you will be having the advantage to see that video first. Having said that, let me give my institute WhatsApp number. The code is +92 03333666214. That's a WhatsApp number. You can contact us. And I personally, Adil Ahmed, I teach Alhamdulillah F5, F6, F7, F9, SBR, ATX, and AFM. These are the few papers which I teach. In F9 and AFM, I have world positions, Alhamdulillah. In F5, I have position in Pakistan. In F6, I have position in Pakistan. In F7, I have position in F7 as well in Pakistan. In F9, I have position in worldwide as well. In ATX, I have 1 position in Pakistan, 6 position outside the Pakistan. In SBR, altogether 3 positions in Pakistan. AFM, I have Alhamdulillah world position and many other positions. And recently, in December 2021, the top affiliate, the top third affiliate in Pakistan is also my student. So that's simply great. So by telling all these things means if you're joining us, so simply you will be in safe hands. After joining us, you will never regret, that's for sure. And let me tell you one more thing. I always teach from scratch. I always assume that my students, they do not carry any previous knowledge. So that's why I teach from scratch. So thanks a lot for watching this lecture. If you have any further queries, I have given my institute WhatsApp number. You can always contact us. Thanks a lot.